of our virtual RC Racing League. We have close to 30 racers from 6 different countries joining us today. I believe we're going to have at least 24 to 26 of them actually race with us. And we're looking for a good race all the way in Pattaya Beach, which is southeast of Bangkok, Thailand. Beautiful place, but always hot and humid. Let's make sure all our racers are in. So I should have six
You're good on
people.
Facebook.
I am missing Brian Nisbet. No, Brian's in here. I'm watching Brian drive right now. So Brad is here, Justin is here, Derek is here, Robert Regal's here, Brian Nesbitt is here, Christopher Heppy is here. So all 6 drivers are in. So at this point, let's go ahead and hit start race. It is 8:03 p.m. We're going to have a 30-second delay for you guys to charge your batteries, run a few more corners, sections, whatever you want to call them. This is one of my favorite tracks, not because of the destination being one of my favorite places to visit, but the track itself is ginormous with consistent grip throughout. Unlike some of the other tracks we've been to in the past, which we have a little bit of turf, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of concrete, a little bit of pebblestone. If you know what track I'm talking about, type it in. 3 seconds to go. On the tone they go. Oh, looks like early on, 2 of our top 2 guys actually wrecked. One of y'all please let me know on Facebook with a comment that you can see us and that you can hear us. That would be great.
Yeah, so you can.
Hunter
We got
King
you.
said, "Yo, Hunter, we miss you. Not really, but we're kind of wondering why you told us you're not going to race with us when you didn't even qualify."
Say it's his birthday, man.
It's his birthday, that's true. And I told
Yeah,
him
happy
last week
birthday.
when it's his birthday not to be doing RC related stuff. Happy birthday to Hunter King, Team TLR driver, a good ambassador to the hobby. He's pretty young himself, but uh, speaks very maturely at least and has a lot of knowledge to drop. Let's check in with our racer. Meanwhile, Robert Regal early on pulling a decent size lead on the pack trying to follow him right now. It looks like it's Derek, Chris, and Brian, the 3 of them battling it out. 2 of these folks are from Canada. One of them, I don't know where he's from, but he lives in Oklahoma. But all 3 of them got commentator's curse in that one section and crashed. Oof, all sorts of mistakes. Meanwhile, Justin Fowell bringing Brad Hefner to the party. Brad's Kyosho bouncing around. Let's look at our comments. Hunter King said, "Looks good. It was on the 4th, but I was quarantined, so I couldn't go anywhere. Finally got to go out and celebrate tonight." Well, I don't know how old you are, but I hope you had a good time doing whatever it is you planned on doing. We have a very interesting topic for tonight. I was told I keep on picking topics that apply towards 8 scale racers for the most part. So tonight we are going to talk about a topic which I'm hoping to get some input on from my 10 scale racers. I have my opinion on this topic. I use this topic to my advantage all the time. The topic is very simple. When my 8 scale friends switch to 10 scale or smaller scale stuff, which a lot of my Houston guys are doing right now, is I mention to them invest in a good discharger, and they're always like, "I have a good iCharger. I don't need a discharger." And I'm like, "No, no, just use a discharger. Read the manual. Figure out how to make the batteries work to your advantage." So my question for you 10 scale and small scale guys is, one, do you use a discharger, and if so, do you find it's a great tool to have? So if you're in my Discord group, type it in the general. If you're listening on Facebook, type in your comments on if you use a discharger and what you like about it, and I'll read them out. Let's read our comments. Juan Jose Rabaza says, "Any 8 scale gas buggy races coming soon?" Juan, we are primarily an e-buggy 10-minute main group. If we ever have a fifth Wednesday of the group, it's our fun race, and that's when we essentially run short course trucks or something fun like that. Let's check in with our leader, Robert Regal, going towards the pit straight, accelerating all the way to 70.1 kilometers per hour. Chad said, "Oh my God, this track is insane. I've never raced it. Good luck, everybody." Chad, what happened, man? You were doing so good over the last few weeks and always present and practicing. I didn't even see your name this time on the qualifying list. Join us next time. Oh, Hunter King said the Big 18. Wow. Congratulations, Hunter. I'm sure you had your first adult beverage in a legal manner, I'm going to say. So drink responsibly, enjoy life responsibly. Do share if it was clean what you did on your birthday. Matt Gray said, "Are these the graphics that the 3080 gets you?" So Matt Gray, you've played this enough to know it doesn't matter what graphics card you have. VRC is locked to potato mode. It looks like an iPhone screen. So yeah. Oh, Chad said he is in the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Chad. Get well soon, um, or get a nice gaming laptop and play from the hospital, or just get back soon. All right, let's look at our comments. Actually, it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Let me talk lap times before I look at my comments. So let's start from the back. Mr. Derek Pryor, fast lap of 49.3. He's repping the orange buggy with the white wheels and white wing. Justin Fowell, always loyal to that pink body, but runs the yellow wing and yellow wheel combo with it. 46.9 from him, so he's got some good speed for this main, but doesn't have the consistency right now.
Cool.
Brad with his Kyosho MP10E, 46.4 from him. Christopher Heppy, 47.9. I don't think Chris Heppy has a lot of time on this track, to be honest with you. He qualified in the last 30 minutes. So Brad now moving up on him a little bit. Chris Heppy, 47.9, as I mentioned. Brian Nesbitt all the way up to second place. That is a bump spot, and right behind him, Brad is 4 seconds behind him. We are taking two bumps. If you're one of those viewers that watched from the early on, oh my God, I just read Hunter King's comment, and he is so true. I was saying adult beverages at 18, and it's 21. I keep mixing my countries. Sorry. Whew. I gotta be careful, Corey. Over here, it's 21, not 18. So
Boy, I need to
Brian
remember these
Nesbitt,
things.
44.8. So when you guys read Hunter's comment, you'll know what I'm talking about. So 44.8 from Brian. He's joining us from Canada as well. First time racing with us, and here he is taking the bump spot away from Mr. Brad. Robert Regal with his Serpent SRX8E Pro GP. God, they have to redo these names. 45.9 from him. I love how you guys are just launching your buggies and holding the throttle wide open and the front end's coming up. Let's go back to comments. So Hunter said the drinking age is 21. LOL. I went to Best Buy and got some Bose headphones. Also had some Olive Garden with my family. Yes, the drinking legal age is definitely 21. Please do not drink if you just turned 18. We do not promote that at all. I have no idea why I got my countries mixed. But yeah, it is
In
definitely
my country,
21.
it's like 12.
Say that one more time, please.
In my country, it's like 12 years old you can drink.
Is that are you joking or is that true?
No, not really, but
It's
kind of.
16, isn't it?
I don't even know, but you can. There's no really. You can start drinking early.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna ask you for ID in France.
that is funny. So my understanding is that in France, the drinking legal age limit is actually 18 unless your parents are with you. And I have personally seen parents buying their kiddos a beer. So to each their own. But yes, the European countries are a little more relaxed on that. But then again, most of the European countries don't have 16, 17, 18-year-olds driving around in lifted Ford F-150s and Chevys. So I think
Yeah.
that's very much an American thing. So let's go back to our comments on Discord. Oh, Glenn just said he has a discharger. He just bought it recently and he thinks it makes a huge difference. Corey Tyler, who races 8th skill primarily, even listed his discharger. He said it's the IDST, I think it's ISDT FD-200. It's the big boy. He said it's the best discharger. Glenn said it was very easy to use. I was surprised how well it worked. Gary dropping some good knowledge. He said dischargers are for stock. When he says stock, I'm making assumptions he's referring to the 17.5 turn class. That's two-wheel drive, 17.5 two-wheel drive. In my area, most people skip stock, strap in the mod, and crash a lot. So they're skipping stock class and going straight for the mod class and crash a lot there. And Glenn said, yes, stock is a trap, but I have learned a lot from doing it. I think I have become a better driver. And then Frenchie dropped his favorite discharger, Turbo 35. So we're hearing from a lot of 10 scale racers that are saying you absolutely should utilize one if you're running in the 17.5 class. So some good comments. If you're on Facebook reading, please give us some comments on if you use a discharger, and if so, what class, and if you liked it. I don't think it's needed for 8 scale friends, but I do think if you're running a spec class in Mini Z's or a spec class in 10 scale, you should invest in a good one. Hunter King said Josh better win tonight. So Joshua Vigil, you've got Hunter King rooting for you. With 9 minutes on the clock, Glenn said 17.5 two-wheel drive and 13.5 four-wheel. Those are both spec classes. So he's talking about 10 scale two-wheel drive, 10 scale four-wheel drive, better known as stock and mod. He's saying it is a must. Then Frenchie said, in stock, it is key to not run the same battery more than 2 to 3 times on a given race day. After that, the discharge curve will drop drastically. Let's see where we are with racing. With 30 seconds to go, let's see if there's any battles. Mr. Derek 49.3, Justin Fowell 46.9, Christopher Heppy dropping back a little bit, making a few mistakes, but finding the fast line to the 45.2s. Brad moving up to third, 44.9, still trying to chase down Brian, only 2 seconds behind Brian, so that is the closest battle. So we will actually stick with what's on screen right now. That Kyosho MP10 E-Buggy chasing down Brian. This is the battle for bump spot with less than 5 seconds to go. Robert Regal has checked out. Oh, both of them making a mistake. It looks like Brian made another mistake. Oh, that is the battle now. Oh, looks like Brad made the difficult pass and then wadded it up. It is a race to the finish line. Whoever gets this gets the second bump spot. Wow. That is bad. Mr. Brad doing a lot of work chasing down Brian, making a pass, then landing on the other side of the track. Unfortunately for him, it looks like Brian will finish in first in their battle. Robert Regal overall first. Again, what I say is only what I can unofficially tell as the result. Official race results will be published when all racers are finished. Here they're coming. That's Mr. Brad coming. Brad had a really long last lap. Look at that, 59.3. So, okay, results are here. Let's quickly look at our results. Yep, it looks like Robert Regal with the Serpent SRX8E Pro GP takes it away on a 13:10:24. Brian and Brad were on the same lap, so the top 3 guys very tightly knit together, and then the last 3 guys very tightly knit together with 12-lap paces. Looks like fast lap of this main goes to... Oof, very close, but it goes to 44.7 from Robert Regal, 44.8 to Brian Nesbitt, 44.9 from Brad. Let's go to the podium spot and ask Mr. Robert Regal if he's got a hot mic. Robert Regal, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, it's been a while since I've seen you on the podium. What have you been keeping yourself busy with in terms of RC lately?
Really put my head down this winter and got into 10 scale and really just trying to keep wrapped around that. Practiced a lot. There was a place that opened about a half hour from us, so I've been kind of living there, track rat.
I see. So you said you got into 10 scale. So the topic tonight is, do dischargers work? And if so, what do you use them for? Give us your 2 cents.
So it's been a long time, but I did have one, and I couldn't tell you which one it was. I ended up selling it because I felt like it was a hassle, to be honest. And I sold it when I switched to mod a couple years back after getting back in. So I
Gotcha.
probably don't have much opinion on it.
I see. Well, I don't know when you got out of it, but the newer dischargers are pretty much plug and play and work really well. So if you're trying to get serious in the 10 skill game, maybe let's have this conversation in 3 months when you have tried it.
Yeah.
At this point, would you like
revisit
to,
that.
yeah, absolutely. Would you like to give a shout out to any sponsors, friends, people that make RC fun for you?
Dialed Hobbies, Serpent America DeSoto, and Sanwa.
Nice, very nice. And congratulations on your first spot. You are going to take the bump with Mr. Brian Nesbitt, and I'll see both of y'all in the C main.
Okay.
For those of you that are new to our league or just joining in, we only interview the first place holder all the way to the A main, and then the A main we do the top 3. What you're seeing on your screen now is us create the next session for our C main. C main folks, please get ready. And please go hit share if you haven't already shared. Alright, so let me pull up my list. Our friendly Corey Tyler from Texas did this list for us. It looks like next up is Vince Slim starting in the TQ spot. Let me pull up my times as well for y'all to see.
I think the Otter should be in this.
The Otter. Y'all gotta use actual names so I know who's
John Blakely.
John Blakely. So I do have John Blakely after Vince Slim. So yes, John Blakely, you're up next.
Okay, thank you.
I hope you win because I want to ask you what's with the Otter. So save it for when you're on the podium.
Oh,
Next up is Mr. Blake Vandermeer. And I'm watching two different screens right now, but what you audience folks can see right now is the qualifying time. We had some last minute qualifiers that are not on here. So right now we're right here with Mr. Blake Vandermeer, who's joining us hopefully. Is Blake in the Discord group? Can somebody check?
No.
Okay. We're going to go to Mr. Anthony Chapman joining us from Corpus Christi with a 7.530. So we've got Vince Slim here, 5.17. John is going to move down a little at 7.518. He's not shown here. Then Stan is sleeping. Blake is not available. Trace Lawrence, if you can hear me, if you qualify, you should also run your main. So please get in touch with us on Discord. Just type in a message on Facebook and we'll get you the Discord link. In the background, I see Anthony Chapman has joined us. So next up
I'm gonna
is
close the door just for the race, okay?
Lee General. Is Lee General in Discord?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
No.
No.
My news feed just said Larry Flint died, so I want to give a shout out to Larry Flint.
Larry Flint.
Yeah, the godfather of Penthouse.
Okay. Okay.
Come on, Larry Flint.
I grew up on something else. I'm sorry. All right. After Lee General, we're gonna take Mr. Frenchie.
Sorry for the yelling.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
What the hell's
Okay.
Frenchie doing down in the C main with me?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I had too much to drink and didn't practice.
And right after Mr. Frenchie, we are going to be taking our bump spot winner, Robert Regal, who qualified all the way down in the 23rd spot. So he's going to get some really good points out of this one. So after Robert Regal in our bump spot, we're going to then take Mr. Brian Nesbitt in his first race ever. We've had a lot of folks just come in and do really well. Glenn Matthias joined us, hopefully I'm not butchering his last name, came and battled really well with Lee General last time, and this time he's qualified, I believe, in the next main, in the B main. And then we've got Mr. Brian here joining us from Canada, who took the bump spot away from Brad Hefner, and then moving up now.
Mo, you're not butchering. You're doing a good job. Matthias is right.
Matthias, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I see all 7 of y'all here. So let me hit start race and then I'll go to my comments. Keep your comments coming. Tonight's topic is very simple. Do you use a discharger? And if so, which one? And do you like it or do you think it's a waste of money? So far, we've had one racer that could not find many pros in it. It was more of a hassle. I can see that frustration and he sold it. Then we've got 3-4 guys that like it. They're predominantly smaller scale folks, 10 scale, 16 scale, mini-Z folks. 8 scale folks have not chimed in yet. Please do chime in. Reading my comments, it looks like Chad is asking, does anybody know if dischargers are required now? I have the new iChargers that can discharge up to 40 amps. If that's the case, would the external discharger still be required? On the sound of the beep, they go. Whole shot from the blue buggy. Who is that? That would be Mr. Anthony Chapman. You can already tell from this main to the last main, we've got 5 to 6 cars grouped up together. And as we move up from D main to C main to B main to A main, A lot of folks will be like that. We're hearing space bars being hit as the group kind of gets away from each other. Let me see if I can find a better view. This is the driver stand view. I know the buggies look kind of small. I want to kind of show you guys what the drivers can see from their angle. All right, so Chad asked a question if he needs an external discharger, if his discharger can go up to 40 amps. So Chad, I'd love to know what discharger, which iCharger you have. So iChargers can go up to a certain amperage and discharge at that amperage, but only if they're connected to an external discharger. If you don't have an external source connected to your iCharger, then they are going to be limited to 1.2 to 2 amps max, which means to discharge a battery could take you as much as an hour, depending on the size. So just because your iCharger can do that doesn't mean it'll actually hit its full potential without an external add-on. Then Hunter King said, Mod Racer over here, don't worry about that stuff. Well, Hunter King is 18 years of age and runs on raw talent. So Hunter King makes 2 racers now that are saying dischargers are overrated. So keep your comments coming. I'll keep reading them. Jeremy Litke gives his very valuable 2 cents by saying, this track sucks. Joshua Vigil with a weird smiley face. Glenn says, I have a SkyRC BD250. Brad is actually saying, yes, Jeremy's right. This track sucks. Well, Brad, you got robbed off your bump spot, so I agree with you there. Glenn is saying his is a 35 amp discharger. The track has a lot of air. If you hit it wrong, lap times go up quickly. Yes, this track, you spend a lot of air time. Speaking of air time, Mr. Frenchie in first place. 44.5 from him as a fast lap. Robert Regal in second. So Robert Regal wins our D main, and here he is battling for the bump spot with a 46.2, 69 kilometers per hour as a fast lap from him. Anthony Chapman up there in the top 3 with a 46.0. Vince Lim with his associated RC8B 3.2 e-buggy currently having a good battle with, it looks like, Mr. Bryan, 47.7. Let's stick with this battle a little longer as they're both literally within a few feet of each other, as Brian just got jinxed by the commentator curse, as does Vince Lim, both of them making mistakes, so maybe we should move forward from them. Lead General doing all sorts of weird, funky stuff, jumping over, I can't even call that a pipe, I'll call it a curbing. So I'll tell you guys a fun fact about Pattaya Beach's track here. When I went there, it was a normal day, okay? I didn't even have my RC car. I was just there doing something else I shouldn't have been doing, but I was stopped by the track. And I was happily satisfied and shocked at the same time to realize that you don't have to marshal. They literally have people there, mind you, very attractive people that were marshaling. It was just crazy. And obviously not many people spoke English, but my understanding is in that region, the RC tracks find it easier to charge the customer slightly more and have marshals that'll marshal for them. So I think the year I visited Pattaya last time, $1 bought you 44 baht, B-A-H-T, which is their currency. So for basically $1, you could pretty much 44 baht was the exchange rate. So I'm not sure how that works out to marshaling wages, but man, it sure seems like fun to be able to drive nitro or electric for an hour and not have to get your feet dirty or go marshal, get your hands dirty. So yeah, good old lazy American input there from me.
4-way battle, 5-way battle back here.
I'm
just
watching
let you
that.
know.
Green Buggy is lead general right now. That's what he's talking about. Always racers do what lead general just did. If you have a battle shaping up, call it out. It was a 4-way battle a moment ago. Now it is down to 2 people, and it looks like those 2 are. Who is that with lead general? Let's see if I can.
The Otter.
The Otter. Where is the Otter? I don't see. That's
the General.
You guys keep saying nicknames, so I'm getting confused. But yeah, that's John Blakely, better known as the Otter, and the General, Mr. Lee General.
Hero lap.
Yep, here it goes. They are currently having a good battle, but what they're doing for Mr. Anthony Chapman is they're giving him room to walk away with this in the second bump spot. So here is Mr. Lee General in third. Here is the Otter chasing him down. Anthony Chapman has got Claire Track in front and Claire Track behind him. So he should be able to focus on lead generals. I jinxed, on Frenchie, as I jinxed Anthony Chapman right there as he crashed. This is Mr. Frenchie in the pink buggy. Further back, we've got Robert Regal, who is now having a battle with Mr. Vince Slim. Crisscross. One has an interesting inside-out line, the other has an outside-in line. So as you notice, Vince Slim likes to enter his corners on the outside, accelerate through him, and Lead General not Lead General. Robert Regal kind of likes to do a point and shoot, almost like a V-line. Let's see if we can find some lap time. So Brian with a 46.1, Vince Slim with a 45.1. Robert Regal with a 45.7, John Blakely with a 45.4, Lead General with a 44.5, Anthony Chapman with a 46. Oh my gosh. One more time, Anthony Chapman proves you don't need fast laps. Well, commentator's curse got him there, but you don't need fast laps. You just need consistently. He is almost 2 seconds slower than the guys behind him right now, but he's currently 8 to 10 seconds above them. So his average lap and best lap, 46 and 48. Meanwhile, Mr. Frenchie is best average and best lap first person for today into the 43s with a 43.7. Keep in mind, even our D-main guys were running 44, 45. So I do hope to see some more 43s, 44s, as Mr. Frenchie somehow did not get docked for that wild jump he just did in the middle. While we're watching Lead General making a mistake, that's going to let John catch up just slightly. Let's look at our comments. So Chad said, get it in Vince, mod racer over here. Peter Wolfen's joining us. He says, I was there in the early 2000s and it was a 90 baht to $1. Oh, I thought you were saying you've been in the RC. Peter's always been to fun places. So Peter was there in the early 2000s at I think it's still called the city of Pattaya, but it's literally, everybody knows it as Pattaya Beach. And he says when he was there, it was 90 baht to $1. Well, when I went, I've been there way too many times, I'm embarrassed to admit. But last time I went, I'm pretty sure my currency exchange was 44 baht to $1. Justin Fowell bringing it back to RC by saying, I race stock, but don't play the battery game. I do have this discharger. It's very popular with the drone guys. And then he drops a link that starts with banggood.com. So I'm not going to read further. I'm going to stop right there. I have a feeling this is a dirty link that Justin Fowell is trying to drop.
Heard of Banggood?
I'm kidding.
Come on.
I just wanted
Come
Justin
on.
Fowell to
Come
feel a
on.
little nervous. It's always funny when you order from banggood.com and you get the email with the exclamation mark saying banggood.com, and you're like, oh my gosh, what if my work IT person sees that I'm getting RC parts from this site and he thinks I'm doing something else? But yes, banggood.com is a very reputable vendor, online e-shop, e-commerce site.
It'll just take you like 3 months to get it right now.
Yeah, but they did open I think it's in Canada actually, a North American warehouse. If you select the warehouse that's in North America, I get my stuff in 48 hours. But then again, I only dabbled with their stuff when I was doing drones and a few solder stations. Justin said, yep, dischargers aren't needed for mod, and for stock it's just a headache. So we've got some more input. We've got 3 racers that think it's more of a headache and about 4 that say you absolutely need it. Let me actually switch back to this screen for just a moment as Lead General is doing what I can't believe he's doing. He's literally has a variance of a 10-second lap time from a fast to a slow, dropping down all the way from 3rd to 4th. That is going to let Robert Regal actually catch up Mr. John Blakely. So we are watching a battle for 3rd. While all this is going on between 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Anthony Chapman is just walking away with that 2nd bump spot. Let's go back to comments. Glenn said the Asian RC scene is very different than the US. JQ talks about that on his blog. I wish I had time to look at some of JQ's newest videos and blogs. I keep hearing some really good stuff and some really, really, obviously both extremes. People either love his views or hate him. I just, unfortunately, with doing RC related RDing and work 4 days a week now almost, it's just hard. But I should probably look at some of his stuff. Gary said, I ordered from a place called Hobby Hot one time. My wife came at me. Hobby Hot, I like it. Glenn says, yes, he's very funny and very smart with RC. So I've only met JQ twice. Once at Thornhill, where we talked briefly, and then once at Beach RC, where he was having a little bit of a tiff with Joe Bornhorst, so it was hard to kind of understand. But I think it's this sense of sarcasm and humor that most Americans don't get. But I don't have an opinion of a pro or a con on him. I will say publicly, I do think he's a very intelligent man, but his ways of conveying the message are not the best. And I'll leave it at that as the race finishes with Mr. Frenchie in first, Anthony Chapman in second. The Otter from Canada gets third. Robert Regal, getting the win in the D main and all the way up to fourth, getting lead general by 5 seconds. Brian Nisbet having a great time in the last main and showing up in sixth year. Vince Lim just 1 second behind him. It's nice to see. I was saying earlier how Vince has found different people to battle throughout the last 1 year he's raced with us. So it looks like Brian will be one of the people now battling with Vince Lim. While we are waiting for... Who are we waiting for, guys? We're waiting on lead general. Okay, thanks for pressing spacebar. Let's look at our results. So I'll remind you guys, the D main was the bottom 50% guys were running 12 laps, the top 50% were running 13 laps. So look at this screen now with the C main. Outside of Mr. Frenchie in a league of his own with 14 laps, everyone else 13 laps. So the bottom 6 folks literally finished on the same lap, and this is why I love one unified class racing. I'm not a big fan of the whole sportsman, intermediate, open, expert, 40 plus, your mama, then pro classes. It's literally too many classes. Over here, everybody runs where they qualify, and look at how well they are. Fast lap wise, ironically, it goes to Brian Nisbet in 6th place, misses the hot lap by a 10th. Good job, Brian. But Frenchie will take that one with a 43.5 on lap 9. So looking at that fast lap from Brian, only a few more weeks and he will be right up there. If he can run that kind of lap time, it'll be quick for him to move up. So Brian is new with us. Looks like John Blakely from Canada is new with us. 13:10:30, 45.4 from him on lap 6. He had some good battling with Lee early on. Then it looks like Robert and him battled out. Anthony Chapman was the quiet one here. Just stayed quietly in second, secured the bump spot, and now gets to move up. Let's go to Parc Ferme and interview our first place finisher, Mr. Joaquim Bruno. Frenchie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good too. Hey, so let me ask you, you know our topic for tonight. I'd love to hear your input. Do you have a discharger, and if so, what class do you primarily use it for? Tell us about it.
So before I moved to Mud, I was running a lot of stock carpet TC, where power is very important, and so I was running with guys like Sam Isaacs and Mike G, like some really fast guys. They are like Sam Isaacs is 9-time national champion. And they've explained a lot of things to me, especially how to treat batteries and what they do. The first thing is that the Turbo 35 is a very good way of knowing how healthy your battery is. You can do some a true discharge test on it and see how long it holds over 8 volts. The other thing is that a battery, if you run it more than 3 times, like after 3 runs, after 3 consecutive discharges, like cycles on a given day, it's instant is going to drop. Like it's not going to hold the charge, not even half as well as it did before. It needs those 24 hours to recuperate. So if you're serious about racing stock, you show up at the track with like 4 batteries, and you use them not more than, or you have like 2 practice batteries, and then you have 2 race batteries. But for racing and qualifying, you don't want to use your batteries more than 3 times. Like 2 is even better. You'll notice if you take the test on the Turbo 35, it'll be like a 30 to, maybe 40-second difference in like how long the battery is going to hold over 8 volts. The other thing is that if you basically the way the stock guys do to get some juice out of the batteries, they discharge the batteries. Let's say the batteries are storage, out of the package, whatever. Discharge it at 35 amps. You discharge it down to 6 volts. Then you charge it back up fully. Then discharge it again. Then charge it. That's your first cycle. Then then going forward, you just discharge it once and you charge it. and that's how they do it, and they get a lot of juice out of the batteries. They have a lot of power. But like I'm more like after that, after a while, I did my best result was like third place at the nationals or corporate nationals, and in USGT in 2017, and then I switched to mod, and I've been running mod since.
Very nice. And what Frenchie covered, guys, he covered a few things, and I'll elaborate on them once we get started in the next main. Good explanation from Frenchie, but Frenchie, the way you explained it, you made it sound a little too complicated.
Oh no, it's just
Yeah.
you basically put some heat in the battery.
Yep, that's
Don't
exactly
use
what
the
he
battery
just
more than
said.
3
The
times.
real
Yep.
thing is temperature, and I'll elaborate on that when we get started. It's all about temperature, and what he was mentioning of